Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the CGA show. As you can see, it's just Noah and I. Dom is away. He was away last episode as well, but he'll be back next episode, hopefully. You'll see the playlist somewhere up here for everything, but without further ado, let's get into the dice. So, Noah, since you went last time, I will say 48 as my number.
Okay, I'm going to choose 83.
Okay. It is 60. I would be closer. I'd be closer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Wait.
that was actually pretty
Yeah,
close.
oh, that was actually very close.
That happened to me last time too. All right, let's see. What am I talking about today? If you haven't seen the last episode, it was conspiracy. Noah talked about one, and I get gaming.
Hey.
Awesome. This is good because there's a couple games that I actually got clips for, and I wanted to talk about one that I actually finished almost 100%ed. And
Damn.
I actually took your lead here because if for people who don't know, the first episode was about Endling, an indie game, and because like you were talking about all these cool indie games, I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. I'll check some out.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch when I messaged you. I think it was like a month ago or so. And one of the ones I bought, and then it was short, but it was so much fun, was Death's Door. And it's published by Devolver Digital.
Oh, okay. They're a big indie studio, right?
I think so. They're based in Austin, Texas. And
oh yeah, I've seen this one. They also did Enter the Gungeon.
Yes, they did. I just see that. I haven't played that one yet, but I heard that was popular.
Mm-hmm.
So, Death's Door, and you'll see some of my game. Well, actually, all the gameplay clips here will be mine. So you'll see some of my fails here as well. I did.
Didn't hold back.
I didn't hold back because so Death's Door is kind of like a Souls-like type of game, or it tries to be like a Souls-like game where there is a difficulty to it, but I think it's more akin to Zelda.
Okay.
Because it is a what do you call it? Like isometric action / RPG / adventure game. Not really RPG. You don't get to like roll stats or anything like that.
Right.
But more akin to Zelda, where you have hearts as your health bar. So you start off with I think 4 hearts or something, and then you can obviously upgrade it through collecting 4 of a specific thing, like these
very
giant
pieces of heart.
Yeah,
reminiscent.
Yeah, very much like that. Yeah, it's like you go to these like giant shrines, and but the shrines are all located in like really cool places that require like puzzle solving. And the thing with the game is like some of them you can't access right in the beginning because you have to defeat some bosses to gain a skill that allows you to solve a puzzle later on.
So that's very Zelda.
It's very much like Zelda, and like where the Dark Souls-esque of it comes in is that the enemies are quite aggressive. They do hit. They can hit you pretty fast. I don't know if they would hit hard because it is one hit takes off 1 health bar, 1 heart. So it's not necessarily that they hit hard, but I would say that it's how aggressive the enemies are, how varied they are, and how many different things that the bosses can do makes it like a Souls-like, but a very light Souls-like. It is very much akin to Zelda. It's so much fun. The music is great. I hope, you guys will hear the music, but I hope it doesn't get copyrighted. I hope the developers allow us to use it, but... Music is freaking awesome, and it's very charming. So the story itself of it is like you play as a reaper. It's this little like
Mhm.
crow, and you carry a sword with you. And then right in the beginning of the game, you can pick up the umbrella, and the umbrella is basically used to 100% the game. What I mean by that is
Mhm.
trophy wise. So like you can beat the game throughout with all the weapons, but you have to beat the game at least one more time with just the umbrella, because the umbrella does literally like 1 damage. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty pretty sweaty type of playthrough. But
Right.
I would suggest anyone that's playing it first play the game with the normal weapons, and then once you've beaten it, once you've realized all the patterns of the bosses, then go
Mhm.
back and play with the umbrella. um so
Nice.
the characters don't speak. Like
Mhm.
it's just text dialogue, and
Yeah.
very charming. All the characters are very
Okay.
charming. uh I love the you go from the sort of like the hub to the main world. So the hub
Mhm.
where you go through these doors, and I mean it's called Death's Door. So you go through all these
Right.
doors to go into different worlds, and think of the doors as like bonfires. So
Okay.
anytime you use a door, it resets the enemies on the level. Um,
Mm.
and every time you use a door, you heal back up once you've gone into the main hub world. So that's a free heal for you.
Right.
And if you wanted to heal, you'd have to. There's a select amount of these flower pots where you can plant seeds, and once you
Mhm.
plant the seed, you can heal up from there. And funny enough, you might think it's not important to plant seeds everywhere, but that's also a trophy, because you have to find all of the flower pots in the game if you want one particular trophy, and they're actually hidden in a few places. So it's
Okay.
very
Okay.
interesting.
And it gives you like that incentive to remember where they are because you can get healed from it.
You can heal from it. Exactly. So it's really cool that there's this underlying story within the main story, and the
Mhm.
on that note, the main story of this. So there will be spoilers a little bit later, but I'll keep it spoiler free right now. So don't click off just yet.
Yeah.
But the spoiler free version is that you play as a Reaper who's just come into work, essentially, with all the other Reapers. And um, so a bunch of Reapers are missing. So your boss tells you, hey,
Oh.
go and freaking find out what happened to these Reapers and see why they're not doing their jobs. Oh, and go and do this one reaping job, right? And so
Yeah.
you go, and then you do you do the tutorial part where you fight a tutorial boss. Shows you the mechanics of the game. You get these little
Mhm.
cute flower soul, like these little soul things that follow you around, and they turn into little like flowers when you just stand still. Um,
Oh.
they're really cute, and they get really, and then when you engage in a fight, and if they're following you, they get really scared, and they like wobble away. It's really
Oh.
and they like hide behind each other. It's really really cute. So yeah, I always wanted to like protect the little guys, but they don't take damage, so don't worry.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
um,
Whew.
and you can take them through the doors, but I've never seen them actually like come in through the door. But I have noticed, like,
Mhm.
as you start going through different levels and doing different bosses and puzzles, a bunch of them do appear in the hub world, and you can have them like follow you around and whatever.
Okay.
And secret trophy for people. This isn't a spoiler to the story, but a secret trophy for you guys is once you get about halfway through the game, take one of those followers, those little flower guys I just talked about, take them all the way to where you started in the game, and then go back into the hub world to get a secret trophy. So
Oh.
yeah, it's
Little treat for you.
a little treat for you guys. Um, the whole premise is that you go through the main door that takes you into the main world, and
Mm.
once you've beaten the tutorial boss, you go into the main world, and here is where you start learning that there's an old crow, a giant.
Mhm.
He's a giant crow, and he's been rumored to be gone for about like 50 years or so. And so when you come across them, you're like, oh, okay, well,
Okay.
like, where have you been for all this time?
Yeah.
Boss is looking for you. He's like, I've been chasing down this one soul that I've seen Death lost, and he wants to do his job properly because he's a Reaper. He's like, I need to go get that soul back. So that's the mystery element of it. And he says we need to open Death's door, which is the big door that's all that basically you have to kill all the bosses and do some of the puzzles in order to open the big door. And you could probably already tell that the big door is the finale of the game.
Right.
So the main premise is that the old crow will tell you go and kill the witch boss first. I recommend doing that. The only reason it says that is because you gain the fire powers that you need for another puzzle. So that's why you go you fight the witch first to get those powers to solve other puzzles for the other bosses. You get different weapons, and some of them, well, actually, each of them are better than the ones you previously got. So I suppose there is that incentive to pick up a new weapon. When you guys play it, you might think that a weapon from earlier was better suited for your playstyle as opposed to the newest weapon. And there's not many
the move set.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not many weapons in this game anyway, so it's I think there's 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So the main thing is, if you want to understand the story, the way you do it is there are notes lying around, and the notes will tell you of what has happened. Yeah, it's very
Dark Souls.
Yeah. And then the characters will tell you stuff too. Little not spoiler, because you'll get to it pretty much right in the towards your first boss. The Sailor's Coast is a great little place for lore, but also a couple fun characters that I love. There's the chef character there that has this octopus on his back, never talks, but he makes the best food. But he gives you all these tips while you're eating, and I didn't realize it the first time that he was giving me tips. So when I started eating the second time, I was like, oh, he's telling me where a shrine is, or like where a power up is or something. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And my least favorite mini boss in this entire game is this giant armored lady. Oh my god, she has the worst iframes, the worst just I can never tell her pattern, because sometimes she'll just do random like smashes and it does like a knockback and you get staggered. I'm like, oh my god, I swear I timed this. So she's annoying. She's a mini boss. You'll fight her a gazillion times throughout the game. Doesn't even matter when you fully upgraded yourself at the end of the game, like fully upgraded. So you have all your spells, then you have the advanced versions of your spells. She's still a pain in the ass, and she's not even a boss. She's just a mini boss.
Wow.
So
like the combat, it's very Zelda-like, but it's also does have like rolling and iframes and
it does, yeah. So
parries, things like that.
No parries, but there is rolling, and iframes, yes, and you can dictate those by upgrading your those specific stats. And the way you upgrade those stats is just like Souls games. The more enemies you kill, the bosses you kill will give you these essentially like souls to spend, right? And you spend them on your upgrades, right? Like, so you can spend them on health, speed, attack speed, magic attack speed, attack power, magic power. That's pretty much, and dodging. So you could theoretically upgrade everything by the end of the game, but
it doesn't sound like you need to.
You don't really need to be honest. I think the game is well balanced. Like, there are some frustrating moments where sometimes so you can knock back projectiles towards enemies, and so if they shoot a fireball at you, you can actually hit that right back at them. But the problem is sometimes timing gets off, or like the frame here was off as opposed to the frame over here. Now, one cool thing is that for each of the bosses, and there there are 4 major bosses, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
And sorry, or 6 major bosses. So I'm gonna get into spoilers now. There's two
Yeah.
major bosses at the end, and those 2 major bosses you sort of meet in the beginning of the game, and the 4
Mhm.
major bosses are the 4 you have to kill before you can actually open Death's Door.
Right.
And there's a lot of secrets in this game. It's
Mhm.
such a short game that I don't want to delve too much deeper into it, just because it'll spoil
Yeah.
everything. I would say playtime, if you want 100% the game, maybe 12 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Uh,
So like, what did the game cost?
I got it on a sale, so I bought it for $6.
You got like 50 cents for each hour. That's a pretty good cost per value, you
It
know?
is. It is. Like, music, beautiful. Art style, amazing. Um, Fighting, the combat in the game, great. Puzzles are like, they're okay to me. They might be fun for some people.
Yeah.
Boss battles, super fun.
Hmm.
The boss battles are all interesting. You can do some interesting stuff in them. That what I like in this game is they don't explain that you can do these interesting things. You just, if you thought about it, it's probably possible to do it.
Nice.
So it's overall a fun game. I would say the story is kind of predictable.
Right.
But the first part of the story is predictable. The second part of the story is maybe predictable halfway through the game. But
Mhm.
there are some fun moments in this game. Like, I would say my favorite moment was towards the last of the major bosses to fight to open Death's Door. Was in this castle, and you had to fight the big. Kind of like, it's like a play on Beauty and the Beast. You kind of have to
Mm.
fight the Beast character, and I it wasn't the fight itself that I liked. It was leading up to the fight. I found the smaller types of enemies to fight throughout the game highly
Mhm.
enjoyable, just because they always kept me on my
Okay.
toes. Always. I never thought
Yeah.
I would hate like fireball plants, and the clips here will show it. Um, the fireball spitting plants are absolutely annoying. They're just as annoying as the plants from Super Mario. You know,
Yeah.
the Venus flytrap looking ones.
Hmm.
And this one shield enemy always annoyed me, but for the most part, I enjoyed fighting the regular enemies more so than
Yeah.
the bosses or the mini bosses. But the bosses do give you a bit of entertainment for, I would say, honestly, I would say for the first 30% of the fight, because then it just becomes repetitive.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you figured out the pattern, and you just sort of do the pattern and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But there are some high intense moments in the game that come up,
Mhm.
and other than that, it might not be as chill as Endling that you
Right.
mentioned,
Which is
but
like just pure chill lo-fi.
pure chill lo-fi. Yeah, this one is more it's more of a, like a if you want to call it a chill Dark Souls experience, sure,
Okay.
you can call
Like
it that.
Dark Souls light.
Dark Souls light, very light. I would say very light. But I would say just have the game on and just listen to the freaking music. It's so cool. The music is so awesome. Like 20 out of 10 for the music alone.
Okay.
But if I had to give the game a rating, I would say on our scale, it would be a solid 7.3 out of 10. There's
That's very high.
It is
Okay.
it is very high. Like I would say it'd be a little bit higher if the bosses had more variety in their
Mm.
attacks, but um, also on top of which, I don't remember if I recorded the final boss fight, but if I did, I
Hmm.
will show it here. The final boss fight, I thought it was a bit lazy in terms of like bosses because all the final boss did was all the other bosses moved.
Oh,
So it's just
yeah,
like
that's lazy.
it's pretty lazy. It's just like
Yeah.
okay, all right, yeah,
You just have to remember what you did for those ones, then okay.
yeah, and the game isn't that long, so it's just like
Yeah.
I fought these guys like 8 hours ago. I still remember.
Yeah.
Other than
Fair
that,
enough.
fun game. It's an indie
Hmm.
game, so I don't know if I could convince Dom of playing it. Maybe he would, because it is a Souls like light Souls. But would you play it? No.
So I've seen a trailer for it before, like way long ago before it launched, and it looked interesting. Like I wanted to check it out.
Mhm.
Uh, so I am interested, but like from what you're telling me, it's a very relaxed experience, and I like Souls for those not relaxed experiences.
Right.
I'm on the fence. I'd say yes, I'll give it a go, but for me, it's like if it's on sale.
Okay. Well, one last thing I could probably try to convince you with is that it actually has a kick-ass um, dialogue, like just kick-ass dialogue. Like I don't know what I was trying to get
Okay.
at, but just
Okay.
kick-ass. It's just funny, and
Okay. Yeah. I
gen
enjoy things like that. Like quirky humor is great.
but
Yeah.
from when games try to do humor, I don't find most games to be funny.
Yeah.
But this is one of those games where the dialogue is quite humorous. It is quirky.
Okay.
Um, there's a guy called Pothead, and you will love Pothead. I freaking love him. He's so derpy. I love him.
That's great. Yeah,
uh,
I definitely think that I'll check it out. I think that
okay.
you've convinced me.
Okay. Perfect. I'm just gonna say I convinced Dom as well because he's not here to vote for himself. But
Yes.
yeah, so he'll have to
In
buy
every
it.
case where you can't vote for yourself, we will vote for you.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you guys can check out Death's Door, whether it's on Steam, it's on all platforms. I forgot to mention that. So if it's on
Perfect.
Steam or I played it on Xbox, I got it from the Microsoft Store. Wherever you guys can get it, get it. If it's on sale, definitely get it. And yeah, show the developer some love. But that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, like and subscribe. Thank you.
Yes. See ya.